Now, the other thing that people don't realize is you get to have all this romantic events happening to you in whatever type of weather that happens to be out there. And one of the things that cowboys have to deal with sometimes is lightning. And have you ever noticed, you get into these big cities, you know, where they actually have radio stations, and they get public service announcements for golfers. Now, who plays golf? Think about this. It's doctors and lawyers. Very educated people. They're smart. But they have to take and have special advertisements to tell them when they're playing golf and a thunderstorm comes up, don't stand in the water crack. Why get the pretty black cloud with your 9-iron, go in and have a beer? Well, I've been into Albuquerque and kept hearing these, and I was working ranches right next to Mount High National Monument up there about a ranch in Mexico. And I kind of got to know the park ranger. And so I asked him out of curiosity, because I run into that situation many times where I was stuck out like that. I said, what do you do when you get stuck in a thunderstorm? And he says, well, you want to take your really tall trees, maybe get around some small bushes of tobacco, crouch down on the balls of your feet and keep your spurs out of the mud. Okay, that makes sense. And he says, haul your horse off to the side. Okay, that makes sense. So here about a week later, I've got a chance to test this out. A thunderstorm comes in. I get off the fence that I'm working on. I haul my horse. I squat down up there and get my spurs out of the dirt. And about 20 minutes later, I slog in the mud. I get on my horse and I'm feeling pretty good. That's a pretty close incident. And it missed plane. And I waited, because I know sometimes lightning can go different directions, and I waited until that storm was almost completely out of sight. And I go down and this is my last place on this part right here. My next stop was going to be cutting a branch off this tree that was on the fence that was 9 posts away. And as I have both hands on the fence, I see this bright light. And I don't know how long it was after that, but eventually I realized that if you see the light, and you don't hear the thunder, you're too close. And I'm lying on the ground, well, not really laying, I was just about like somebody caught a carp and threw it up on the bank and had it flopping. I can't feel my legs. I don't even know if my feet are still on. Luckily, when I'm working out like that, I keep my pants tucked down inside of my boots, and I have on a brand new pair of blue top boots, and every once in a while I can see them blue tops flopping up, so my feet were still on. Well, then the next thing I realized is my horse was just over to the left of me. He's laying down and he's flopping too. And every time he flopped and I flopped, we were getting a little closer together. So knowing my luck, I figured he was going to land on me, and in the meantime I'm hearing the back going, you take him, no, you take him. Once again, they're arguing about whether or not they're going to let me live or not. Well, that old horse flopped up over the top of me. Then he jumps up, didn't touch me. He flops up, he jumps up, he straddles that fence where I legs on one side, left legs on the other, and ripped out what I just fixed. And then he takes up and he gets off the house at tomorrow night. And I'm thinking, you know, if I ever manage to get to the gate, he'll probably be down there because I closed it. And after a few minutes, I thought, you know, my legs were shaking, and you're falling into the mouth, and you can't hardly move. You're totally numb. And I started walking back to the house. Now, I got down to that gate. It wasn't there. But there was this ball of wire about the size of a basketball, about 50 feet off the gate. I mean, if you could have had that on video, it would have been pretty cool. And I was starting to think now, maybe, because this is the county road, or actually a B&I road, maybe somebody will pick me up. And then I got thinking, they ain't gonna think on me. You're not gonna pick me up. They're gonna think I'm on some really weird drugs. Well, I got back in the house. The horse was there. He only had one small cut. A couple of weeks later, he was plumb fine. On the other hand, me, I had red lines going down both arms, to my chest, down to my legs. The spur guards on both boots were melted, almost beyond being able to be used. And I called my boss. Now here's another fallacy of cowboy life. All the rangers won't take care of you. Yes, they do. I called up this guy. He's not old school. He's got a big business that he ranches as he wants to have, be involved in the cowboy way of life. I said, well, I got to get my life. You got me going in the dog, who are you? Needless to say, I didn't last very much longer at that place. And but the biggest problem I had with that, I had two problems. One was, you'd be going along and all of a sudden your heart would start slowing down. And you could feel it. And it'd be where it would be, and then it starts beating up. You get right down and you see your shirt bouncing off your chest. Now that was pretty cool. I mean, the first time it happened, I was kind of worried, but after that was kind of cool. Look at that, man. The other thing was, for a year, or maybe a little bit longer, I'd go to town, somebody would open up the door, and if you flash on that mirror, I'd be ducking.